deal is with this microphone because it's actually pretty cool about, yeah, isn't it pretty clear? Yeah. Oh man, I'm live right now. It looks like I got one person in the chat, I think. 2 people in the chat. Okay, this cup is a game called Pem Dice, which we may have an opportunity to play at various times, but it's a bunch of dice and stuff like that. I just use it so I don't have to hold the microphone. It's actually pretty easy when I'm sitting over there. I need the microphone just sitting, and it doesn't stand up otherwise. But this microphone is, I got people. Who is the person had to change to their school account. It was a weird name. But anyway, this is a Rock Band microphone from Rock Band Beatles. Oh my God. But it's a Logitech microphone, right? So when I plug it into the computer, it comes in as Logitech, not Rock Band or Nintendo or some junk like that, you know? Yeah, so this isn't, it has Rock Band on it, but it's not a Nintendo property. So it's pretty solid. No. Rock Band was a third party that created a game for Nintendo. Yeah. But it's much more clear if I have it like this, because have you had classes where like teachers are doing live streams and their backs to the camera and you can barely hear what they're saying? Yeah. This is so much easier. Not to mention, here's the other bonus, right? You guys talking right now, they can't hear you, or they can barely hear you. When you were in the stream yesterday, did you hear anybody else? It might have been like muffled or something like that. But like, yeah, I know. It's so nice. Plus, I could do my impression of like ASMR videos. Oh, it's so creepy, those videos. Sorry, I'm just looking at your chat. No, it's so creepy, these ASMR things. Like I saw one video, which was the last one that I ever watched. I'm like, I am never going back to it. It was the microphone was like, it was like a rectangle with 2 ears on the end.
The ears on it, and then they like touch the ears.
Oh my gosh.
They put wax on the ears, and then they like peel it off.
I have to show you a video.
No. If it's about this conversation, then no. Oh my gosh. It's so creepy.
Stuff covered in like hot Cheetos, and then he dips it into, and then he eats it. It's like corn dogs and like I don't even know what it is, but it looks so good.
No, thank you. Okay, so here's the deal. Ready? Okay, just as a reminder, because I know you came in yesterday to the live stream, which is fine. You're allowed to, but here's the deal. As of right now, you are not required. You guys right here, the Thursday kids, you are not required to be in the live stream on Wednesday. No, it depends on the teacher. It does. Exactly. Now, some teachers are going to be teaching brand new lessons every day. My decision, which I'm allowed to do, I'm basically after this, I'm kind of taking it easy this week. I'm kind of like slowly easing people in. But after this week, I'm going to be jam-packing information into those 70 minutes. Now, what's going to happen is this. Your Wednesday, Thursday. Well, not really. Your Tuesday, Thursday, but bear with me. B days. Your class is a Wednesday, Thursday class. On Wednesday, you are at home. There should be an enrichment activity next week. I'll answer your question in a moment, Lindsay. But on Wednesday, there should be an enrichment activity for you guys to do. Then on Thursday, you will come in to class physically and see the live lesson. Say what now? On Wednesday, which is a B day, you will get there will be a posted enrichment activity on Google Classroom that you guys will be required to do. It'll be the same enrichment activity for both groups of people. It'll be based mainly either on previous information or information that we're about to get to, kind of like an intro or preliminary stuff. Then on Thursday, when you come in, you'll get the live lesson. Now, if you know you're going to be absent on Thursday, whoever this person is, if you know who is it? Aiden, right? If you know you're going to be absent on Thursday, join the live stream on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? You get the same lesson. Oh no, what if I'm sick and I'm out on a Wednesday? Well, then I'll be in on Thursday, and then those Wednesday kids can watch the live stream, and I'll make sure I put the thing in. There'll always be an opportunity to get the live lesson. Hold on, somebody calling.
Ms. Wojak, please call the main office. Ms. Wojak.
Now, her question was, do Wednesday kids have to be in the call today or just Friday? I wanted to make sure. Okay, I'm sorry, Lindsay. I should have read that beforehand. I saw you had a question, but I didn't read it all the way through. Please stop that. I'm going to throw something at your head or cut your hair when you're not looking. Anyway, Wednesday kids are not required to be on Thursday. They're not required, but you can choose to be if you want. Typically, if you want to be on the other live stream, it's like, oh, I want to get some extra help. Maybe I want to get a preliminary, like I want to get a head start on what's going to be taught to me or some junk like that. But you're not required. Now, Friday, I'm going to, as of right now, and this is as of right now, this could change. This could change because tomorrow is the first virtual Friday, right? This could change. But as of right now, tomorrow, I'm going to throw out that Google Meet link for when your class is meeting, and I will be available. Now, we've been told the Google Meet is our opportunity to get to know and to meet and to catch up and teach the fully virtual students, because I haven't seen them at all. But then there's the opportunity for the rest of you to join that Google Meet as well if you have questions, if you need help with something, if you have work written that you need me to see and correct or something like that, whatever. It's kind of like an after-school kind of help thingy. It's weird because it's debated between the teachers. Okay, what exactly are we doing on Friday? Yeah. Remember I told you last week, it's like there was like 100 questions and we mainly got like 20 of them answered? Did I tell you that? No? Okay. Maybe not. But yeah, I'm going to delete your comment. Yeah, I'm going to delete your comment. There he goes. I should give him a time. Hold on, I'm going to put him in timeout. Put user in timeout. There he is. Yeah. So gross. I am going to cut your hair when you're not looking.
That's literally the most unsettling noise. I can't handle the sound of like shooting.
Okay. Here's my problem though. You just gave him a ton of ammunition. Okay. So yeah, Lindsay, like I said, Wednesday students, if you are in class on Wednesday, you are not required to be here on Thursday, unless there's a weird situation like last week. Last week, Wednesday, they changed it to an A day, right? Do you remember that? Yeah. Wednesday, they changed to an A day. Then you guys came in on Thursday, and I told all my Wednesday kids, be there on Thursday, because I'm not doing the first day thing again. I'm not going to be repeating lessons like that. So, for example, Monday. You know how like most holidays are on a Monday, right? Kind of like Martin Luther King Day, Columbus Day, stuff like that, right? If there's anything like that, like where there's like a Monday, I'm going to be teaching the lesson on Tuesday. I'm going to be saying, hey, Monday kids, you need to be in the chat on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to delay my schedule if I can easily just show you the live stream. So, but anyway, we'll deal with that when the time comes. Now, for today, there was no summer math for Algebra 2. But I still need to know where you guys are mathematically. So I have a quizzes for you. This quizzes will not count. That's okay. But you're taking that quizzes today. I expect your full effort. And here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you approximately a half an hour to get this quizzes done. For those of you in the chat, if you're here virtually, if you have not taken it yet, or if you want to try and take it again, that's up to you. But I would like you guys to take this quizzes. I'm going to put the code up in a little bit. So yes, that's why I have your Chromebooks out. After the quizzes, when you are done with the quizzes, there is an assignment in Google Classroom to access your online textbook. Has anyone already done that? Cool, perfect, fantastic. When you're done with the quizzes, get back onto that online textbook and kind of mess around. See that you can actually like flip around the pages, flip around the chapters. Make sure you can do that. See what the textbook looks like, that kind of stuff. Because there's a screen where you actually have to click ebook and then you get into the textbook. But for you guys, if you get done early, then make sure you online access that textbook. Same thing for you guys in the chat if you haven't already done so. The assignment should be in Google Classroom, right? I believe it should be. And the access code? Yes, she's nodding yes, so I'm going to go with that. Cool. So after the half hour or so, or until everyone is done with the quizzes, after that, I am going to review questions with you. And those questions that I am going to review I'm going to ask you that you put them into your notebooks when the time is appropriate. That is what my goal is for today. So let's see here. Start a live quiz. Classic. Yes. There's a different code for it though. Yeah. People in the chat can't see the code because there's a glare still from the projector bulb or whatever that thing is called. So 908701. That is the quiz's code. Join that with your real name. That would be fantastic if you could do that. And we'll kind of go from there. Oh, people are already popping in. Let me lower the volume.
Probably. What do you want to? Step on the left side of my foot, not the right side of my foot. I'll let you do that one. I can't feel it.
If I see you in the hallway,
Just like
I'm just gonna jump on your foot.
I will literally turn around and roundhouse kick you.
There
You will go.
You'll be on the ground.
No, you will go down. I've been on crutches more times than probably anybody I know. I will be just fine. Roundhouse kicking you in the face.
I've never broken it.
I've broken it. I just want to find those.
That's weird. All right, who do we got? We got 5 people. So you 4 are clearly in. Who else is in?
Yes, there's Tristan.
Is that it?
No clue who that is.
Okay. It says we got 3 people in the chat, so I don't know. But again, for those people in the chat that are unable or not joining right now, I'm going to assume that you're somebody who was in the other. Like Lindsay, for example, was in my class yesterday. Say it. Oh, yes. Sorry. Thought about it for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? And I lost my mind. Anyway, yes. I was about to say that before. Have a piece of scrap paper out, ready to go. If you need scrap paper, I got plenty of scrap paper right up here. I got pencils, erasers, anything you could possibly need.
You guys are rolling.
There he is. I see you there, Tristan.
Deck on deck.
You're right there.
What is this? Oh, there it is.
Oh, no. So, like I said, I want to go over questions with you guys that we need to practice with. So after, oh, you can't even hear me. So after the quizzes, I am going to be reviewing the questions that are of most important based on the analysis, and then we'll see where it kind of goes from there. The time is approximately 10:15. I'm going to give you guys approximately a half hour to get that done. When you are done, please make sure you are accessing that online textbook. The directions are in Google Classroom. If you've already done it, please play around with the textbook. Make sure that you can actually get into the textbook, turn pages, all that fun stuff. I'm going to click start, and we're going to get moving. Woo, woo, woo.
I'll just put one in.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, the electronics is on you guys. Obviously, if we're focusing on what we're doing, I really don't have a problem with that. I would argue the focusing with music part, but
Music with no words. I like lo-fi music. Shut up.
like elevator music.
No, like. Okay, you know what?
See, this is the question. I don't like that for the next one.
Well, we're going to talk about that. If it's one of your issues, problems afterwards, we'll get to it.
I don't understand that. Proofs. Just mess me up.
Proofs are not a part of this list.
Thank God.
Oh, I hate this one.
Yeah.
In my old school, we didn't do like FRX. We learned it a different way.
We'll talk about it. Try your best right now. Try your best right now, but let's see what happens. Let me lower my music over here. The other thing I'll say is in terms of I'm going to bring up the class percentage in a minute, but the other classes that took this, they scored roughly 63% and 61% correct. I want to see if you guys can beat that. There it is. Right there at 0. get a comparison of what it looks like. Because at some point, not today, but at some point, I'm going to do something. Like, hey, read this section. Hey, read this part. Did you access the textbook yet? Did you access the textbook yet? If you go to classwork, okay, yeah, right there. But it takes you to like the first page, and then there's always like page after page, but there is a nice little menu feature in the upper left side where the horizontal lines.
Do we have to create an account?
Yes, if you follow the PowerPoint, on the PowerPoint, it goes through that step-by-step process. It's easier than me creating everything for you guys, because I tried doing that at first and it failed miserably. I think if I created for you, I have to upload an Excel spreadsheet, which I did, and it kept on getting kicked back to me saying, nope, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And then other teachers like, no, just have them do this. I'm like, "Oh, son of a shit."
Will Lisa Cobb please call the main office?
I love that you put your names are on your student ID.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
my first name and last name, like I didn't know. I love that.
I didn't actually take that PowerPoint.
Whoever did it, I appreciate it a lot.
You know, that.
Yes,
She's fantastic.
it saves a lot of confusion.
Hope so.
It really does.
Well, like, I mean, you guys grew up in the computer era, but like, we did, like, people didn't really have computers in their homes until like the late 90s. Like, some people did, but it was like a rich person's stuff. But it became affordable in the late 90s. And then at that point, like, I didn't get the internet until I was in like 8th or 9th grade. And then when we did, it was like, oh, it's not for this account, it's not for this account, it's not for this account. And it became very quickly obvious, like, you probably number one want to have like a same password. If you're gonna have like 50 different accounts for stuff, you want to have the same password, but at the same time, you don't want to make the password look super easy because if somebody hacks it, like everyone steals it. It's so weird. Yeah, it's weird. You know where the internet originally got started? I did. It was for colleges and universities. It was a system for colleges and universities to share information with each other. For example, if someone at Harvard needed to speak directly with someone at Princeton, let's say, Boston to New Jersey, or Cambridge to New Jersey, whatever, they didn't want to have to call them or whatever. It's like instantaneously click, click, and the message was sent out. That's why the internet was originally created. Problems that will only roughly 7 minutes. So I want to stick to that half-hour thing. think they're all, what, 16, 17? Yeah, so you guys were born 2003, 2004? Okay. The first smartphone came out in 2007. You probably didn't have cognitive memories until after that. Right? Like, for example, when you're born, you don't remember being born, you remember being 1 or 2 years old. You remember what? Yeah. Cognitive memories are things that you actually remember happening in your life. So I'm saying that you probably didn't have any cognitive memories until after the first smartphone came out.
I remember my brother's first phone, like 2010.
What? Oh, yeah, those things, the moto thing. I know.
Wait, they remember that, or it was just like, it was just a tiny little thing. It was just like,
Are we gonna go over this or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I have a question about it.
Absolutely. My objective for the rest of the class is to go over them and have you guys write the stuff down. Nice. And like I said, I know that, obviously, we're still waiting on him to finish right here. But I did set that half-an-hour time limit, so. Yeah, I remember those weird kind of phones where you like flip it up and the keyboard's kind of hidden and stuff like that. Yeah.
I remember the flip phones where like, you know, like press on that number like 3 times to get a letter.
Something like that.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yes. I had one of those in like elementary school. I called it my peck peck. So we just have to like peck it every number to like get anything.
You guys don't remember a time where you were having instant communication with people, where you literally had to walk over to someone's house and see if they were available?
I still do that. If I'm just too lazy to like pick up the phone, I will just like walk to someone's house or like if I'm with my friends, we'll just drive to their house and knock on their front door if they don't answer.
Fun fact, on the cell phones, I believe, yeah, they do kind of have this icon for it, but it's like for the missed call icon, it's like a red thing, like a red thing, it's like, oh,
What phone is that?
oh, this is a Galaxy 7. Why?
I don't understand galaxies. Like I just don't
They're better.
understand anything that's not my phone.
They're 1,000 times better.
You think?
My point being though, like the symbol is like an old phone that most people don't even have anymore. It's like that weird like plastic thing with like the earpiece and then the mouthpiece. Yeah.
And then you just
Exactly. Yeah. So like when you hung up the phone on someone, it was like, ah! You know, can't do that anymore. You win. Today is Thursday, September 10th. But tomorrow is Friday. 11th.
I know you just that was
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, put back
when
Thursday.
I was like,
Thursday.
Why are you just doing
Huh.
How?
I'm a genius. You're gonna learn very quickly that I'm a genius.
Yeah, you already make me feel dumb. But
I'm
like,
sorry.
teach me how to solve a Rubik's Cube.
yeah,
I have- okay.
learned that.
Like, I've done it before. Like, I used to do like a bunch of like those brain game puzzles when I was younger, but I haven't solved a Rubik's Cube in years.
On my personal YouTube account, where if you go to my school YouTube account, I'm actually subscribed to my personal YouTube account. If you subscribe to my personal YouTube account, there is a video somewhere in there that is a 30-minute Rubik's Cube tutorial. Okay, and that tutorial has timestamps for you. If you like, you want to watch like the first like 10 minutes, get those steps down, and then come back. You can click the timestamps and just go straight to where you need to go. That 30-minute tutorial has taught a ton of people, and has many thousands of hits. And people have told me specifically that they learned how to solve from my video. Just saying. I would suggest, you know, if you really do want to learn, watch the video. I go through all the basic steps. Very simple. I taught kids as young as 4th grade. 4th grade how to solve it. I once tutored a kid in 5th and 6th grade. The dad actually paid me to tutor him in Rubik's Cube. And I got him from like a minute average down to like 15-second average in like a few months. Super easy.
Can't
Yeah.
do stuff like that. Other things easily, like instruments.
Okay, but that's the thing. Instruments is about using an instrument is like a dexterity and being able to do multiple things at once, being able to think and translate that into your hands and your mouth and whatever it is that you're using. If it's a mouth device like a wind instrument or something like that, you know.
I played guitar playing on ukulele.
Oh, then you'll be
I taught myself when I was a kid.
honestly playing the piano and learning to play the guitar or ukulele or something like that, having that kind of finger dexterity and memorizing that kind of stuff, that's the Rubik's Cube. When you play the guitar, I'm certain at first you try to memorize how to play, but then the more you practice, the less you think about it. And the more the notes just become an extension of your hands. And it gets to the point where you don't even remember what the notes are. You're just like, you just do what you do. Same thing with the piano. Same thing with the Rubik's Cube. It takes a while to get into it. It takes a while to memorize the algorithms. But then here's an algorithm that I know. I don't know what it is anymore. I don't think about what the letters are of the algorithm. All I think about is, okay, I need to do that move. Done. Same concept. Just saying. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna bring this screen back over to me. I'm gonna share my screen here. A duplicate. Where'd you go? There you are. Now, while I'm getting this set up, I'm gonna ask you to do the following. You can close the Chromebooks, and I'm gonna ask for those notebooks to be out and open. Let's take a look at some of these questions. Now, I know you said that you had a question about one of the problems. Here's what I'm going to do. First, I am going to go over the red colored problems. I'm going to go over the red ones first. If I don't hit your question, please let me know. And then we'll with the time that we have left over, I'd like to go over that one because we have until 11:05 to do this. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to utilize my Elmo camera right here in order to go over said problems. So I'm going to switch back and forth, if I need to, between the problem that is on the quizzes and the problem that I'm going to be writing out. Now, I'm not going to write out the whole problem. I'm going to write out what I need in order to get this thing done. So it looks like number one, the function problem that you were talking about before. Let me write down some information. Now, in terms of our notes, I'm going to always give you a date for your notes. Today is the 10th. And I'm going to give you a title. This is the review from quizzes. Here we go. Now, again, I'm going to be flipping a little bit back and forth, but at least you can see exactly what I'm writing. And this is the reason for the microphone. Because if I did not have this microphone, whoever was online would not be able to hear a word I'm saying. Sucks. Rock band. ASMR. Anyway. So let me flip over here. I'm going to write down some information. First of all, number one. I'll show you what I'm writing in a moment. Oh, here's the rule of thumb for notes. If I write it down, it's noteworthy. Just saying. That's literally all it comes down to. If I write it down, you should write it down. Anyway. Number one, they tell you that f of x equals negative 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. And the question that they are asking is they want to know, what is f of negative 1? Now you're talking about function notation. Function notation visually doesn't look like anything in real life. But the concept behind function notation is everything that you've ever done. You walk up to a vending machine, you put in some money, and you input the code of the item that you want. If you have done this correctly, what should happen? You should be able to get a snack. Yeah. The input is the money in the code, and the output is the snacky snack. Right? Input, output. Imagine, like, not even imagine, go up to like an elevator, for example. You're gonna have to take the elevator at some point today. You go walk up to an elevator. As long as it's unlocked, you push the button for what direction you want to go. That's your input. And then the output is you're traveling to your destination, wherever it may be, upstairs or downstairs. Imagine a machine. I'm jumping around now. Imagine a machine that paints cars. And there's just a blank car that's inside the machine. So you walk up to the machine and you pour in purple paint. Your input is the purple paint. What should come out? Paint should come out of the machine. Remember, it paints cars. I pour in purple paint.
What would come out would be a painted car.
What color? Should be. Yes, and it should be. Input is purple. Input is purple, output is purple car. Input is yellow, output is yellow car. Every input has a specific output for a function. That's actually one of the definitions that they give you. If an equation is deemed to be a function, then for every input, there is a unique and distinct output. For every input, there is a unique and distinct output. What would you call a machine that is supposed to paint cars? You walk up to it, you pour in purple paint, out comes a purple car. But then an hour later, you walk up to it, you pour in purple paint, and a yellow car comes out. What would you call that machine? Broken. Or not functioning. Functions are supposed to function properly. If you input a -1, it should have a specific output. And that output is automatically linked to the input. It should not change. You pour in purple paint, the output should be a purple car. You put in a -1, there should be a numerical output. It's a weird process. Here's what you do. You are literally taking this -1 and you are shoving it into the equation. Mathematics is violent. You're shoving it into the equation. And you are replacing all of the x's with a -1. The only thing left to do is to talk to your favorite Aunt Sally. PEMDAS. Follow the order of operations. Parentheses, there's nothing really to do. Exponents, I'm going to have to evaluate this. Ooh, question. Do you ever type something into the calculator and just trust that it's correct? Right? You do that, right? Question. What is -1 squared? Should be 1, right? You square a negative, it should become positive, right? Look at this, look at this. Anyway. Do you ever trust the calculator more than your own logic? Because you guys are correct. It should be +1. It should be +1. It is +1. I don't trust the calculator as far as I can throw it, which is not that far. What's wrong? It's not.
That answer is wrong. A negative times a negative equals a positive. So the calculator is just dumb.
The calculator is not dumb. The calculator is only doing what you told it to do. No, it's working. Here's the thing. When you type it in like this, the calculator says, okay, human being. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. No. You could do the triangle thing, but it does the same thing. It's the caret symbol. Yeah, here's the problem. Well, hold on, I'll get there in a minute, but here's the thing. The calculator looks at something like this, and the calculator says, okay, you want me to do -1 squared. So you want me to square the 1, because please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You want me to square the 1, then multiply it by -1. Okay, I'll do that. That's what the calculator just did. It squared the 1 and then multiplied it by a -1. The calculator only does what you tell it to do. That's what you got to do. I say this to every class. I say this every year. I say this throughout the entirety of the school year. Listen to my words. Parentheses will save your life. You know what parentheses are? They're a big hug. Look at my arms. Say parentheses. You'll get it. Nah, kind of. At this point, people are like, man, Mr. Markey. To which I say, you know, I had a bag of marbles. They're somewhere in this room. I don't know where they are. Well, where are they? There you go. That's it. Anyway, -3 times now a +1 plus 2 times -1 minus 5. You got to be careful with your signs. One's a negative, one's a minus sign. You got to treat them a little bit differently. In this case, yes, you multiply, and this is still just a minus 5. Altogether, this should be equal to a negative 10. And it is. The input was negative 1. The output was negative 10. At this point, it's just a matter of following the order of operations. If you trust your calculator, fine. If you want to trust your calculator, go right ahead. Just make sure that you are typing things in correctly. Note, and I'll zoom in a moment. Notice how I'm typing this in. Notice how I'm typing this in. Parentheses will save your life. Notice I'm putting the negative sign with the negative 1 and the negative 1 and the negative 3 in the beginning. And at the end, I'm not doing negative 5. I'm doing minus 5 because that does something different. The negative sign is, here, I'll zoom. Hold on one second. There, the minus sign is right there. The negative sign is down here. Yeah. You could, but that might just be an overuse of parentheses. In fact, you could, watch this, boom, negative 10. You could, if you wanted to, insert a multiplication symbol, but the calculator assumes that that's multiplication already. You could, if you wanted to, insert parentheses around that negative 3 if you wanted to, but again, it's just overkill with the parentheses. The calculator is only as smart as the person using it. Just be careful about syntax errors. Yeah. Input, output. In fact, the fun thing is this input, output is an ordered pair. Inputs are typically connected to X's, and outputs are typically connected to Y's. This is an X, comma Y ordered pair. In fact, this original graph, do you know what this original graph is? What type of equation is that? It's not linear. It's quadratic. It produces a U-shaped parabola.
I was thinking about that.
A U-shaped parabola. But the thing is, with this U-shaped parabola, I guarantee you there is an ordered pair on this U-shaped parabola, the ordered pair being negative 1, negative 10. That's how function notation works. There's an input, there's an output. It's amazing. You got to fill this out for me. Yeah, fill this out for me while I go to the next problem. Let's jump down to number 9. Just for the sake of argument, do you remember which problem it was that you needed to do?
I don't remember the number it was, but it was the one with 45 like squared.
45 squared?
I know how to do it. I have a quick question for you.
Let me see if I can find it though. 45 squared, you say? Oh, that one, 10. Good. We're going to do that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to do that one. It's on red, so we'll do that one next. Cool. Here's number 9. Number 9, they want an equation, and writing this down into our notes, of course, with a slope of negative 2 over 7, and it goes through the point 5 comma negative 6. Oh, I should have written it in pen. Yeah. They prefer these passes written in a pen. 1059/10/20. That should be good. Oh, restroom. Switch that over. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me switch back to number 9 real quick. What do you notice about all of the answers? What do you notice about all of the choices that they give you? Well, yeah, they look very similar. Are they in the form y equals mx plus b? Short answer, no, they're not. These are not in slope-intercept form. These are not in the basic form that you're used to. They're not. They are in the form of point slope. It's point slope form. Point slope form is not something that is typically done, or I'm sorry, is not something that is typically used in the algebra level or the algebra 2 level or the geometry level. Point slope form is one of those weird things that is typically used in pre-calc and calculus. Mr. Markey, then why do we need to know it? Because it's fun. You're going to learn that I find all this stuff fun, but that's actually point slope form. And with point slope form, they want the equation that has that slope and that point. So if they want this point and that slope, look what I'm doing here. I'm simply plugging and chugging what I need. I plugged in the y1 for -6. I plugged in the -2/7 for m and the 5 for x sub 1. What happens here? Look where I'm pointing. What happens here? You remember back in middle school, you learn like keep, change, change? Yep, to become a plus. They cancel each other out to become a plus. Literally, this is the answer right here. I'm not even kidding. You could simplify it. You could distribute the -2/7. You could turn it into slope-intercept form, but you don't need to because the answers are already point-slope form.
So if it doesn't ask you, like, let's say, like, it's a written question and it doesn't ask you to simplify it, like, that would be the correct answer. Like, you don't have to simplify it.
Correct. This is a linear equation. This counts as a linear equation. It's just not in the form that you're used to. If the problem did say, hey, I want this in slope-intercept form, then you would have to simplify it. Yeah. I know you're looking at the clock, so you got to leave soon. I know. Number 10. 2 birds, 1 stone. Square root of 45. They want you to simplify it. Here's the thing. With a problem like this, and we're going to get into a lot of details with like factoring and breaking things down and like, you remember, you ever do factor trees back in the day? Factor trees, yeah. You could do a factor tree with this if you wanted to, but the simplest way to go about it, 45 is not a perfect square. 45 is not a perfect square. If you tried to type the square root of 45, it would give you a decimal that is approximately 6 point something, 6.6, 6.7, something like that. What? See, now I want to know. You're giving me a look. 6.708. What's the square root of 49? What's the square root of 49? 7. Square root of 36? 6. 45 is between them.
I forgot how easy that was. For a second, I was like, wait.
Yeah. So 45 is between them, but a little bit closer to 49. So I just made an educated guess. But here's what you do. Switch. Equals. Give me 2 numbers that multiply to 45. 9 and 5. Could you have given me different numbers? Of course you could. But the reason why you gave me 9 and 5 is because 9 is a perfect square. And since 9 is a perfect square, it becomes 3. The 5 stays behind. Can you break the 5 down any farther? Nope. You can break down 1 and 5, but 1 doesn't help. 1 doesn't help. That's literally the answer. Go ahead.
See, like I did all that. The only thing I did is I put a 5 on the outside.
Yeah.
And like, is there a difference in doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. Watch. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. There's square root of 45. There is 3 root 5. Right? And now here's 5 root 3.
So I just like how do I not know
Well, the thing is, the way that I typically do it is, number one, I break it down like we did right here, like you told me. The square root of 9 becomes 3, which means since it evaluates the square root does go away. But the 5 is stuck. There's nothing that will allow the 5 to escape that square root. The square root basically is like a set of parentheses that are like handcuffs almost. Like you can't get out of it unless you have the justification to do so. We're going to get practice with it. This is like kind of see like how you guys did and where you're at. Oh, speaking of factoring, I am going to teach you at some point, not today, but I am going to teach you maybe a different way of factoring than you're used to. Have you ever heard or been taught the Tucker method? You've heard of it? I got you. Your brother probably learned it last year, if he remembers. Was that your brother? Yeah. Yeah. Probably 2 years ago then. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. In that class, I had 4 maths.
I know.
My gosh, dude. Anyway, factor. Now, here's the thing. The idea of factoring. Think about 45. When you took 45 and you broke it down to 9 times 5, you factored it. Factoring is the act of breaking things down using multiplication. That's what factoring really is. It's the act of pulling things apart to their prime factors. Factoring an equation like this is very helpful, and we'll get into those details when we get into the main lessons next week. Now, I'm not going to explain why I'm going to do what I'm about to do. I will teach it to you in due time. But there is a specific way in which these things can be factored, in which I'm using a method, like I said, known as the Tucker method, which acts the same way every single time. And there it is. Oh, you can't see it. There it is. If you might have learned it back in Algebra 1. It's been a couple years. I'm going to hopefully reteach it to some of you. For some of you, it may be the first time you've ever seen it. But I am going to be focusing on the Tucker method for helping us factor quadratics. For quadratics that are not factorable, we may have to rely on the quadratic formula. This one, of course, was factorable, which means we could get answers if we wanted to. We could solve it if we wanted to. But we don't need to, because all the question wanted was for you to factor. Now, if you look at the choices, does this first choice look exactly what I wrote down? Does that first choice match what I wrote down right here? It's backwards, but that's acceptable. What's 9 times 5? What's 5 times 9? Reversible. It's called the commutative property of multiplication. I know. This is going to help me moving forward. I think there was only one more question, this one, which unfortunately I don't have time for. So be aware of what's in Google Classroom. I will be assigning an enrichment activity next week. Be aware of that. I will be on Google Classroom tomorrow, or I'll Google Meet tomorrow if need be. Because I know, Jessica, you were asking about different questions, stuff like that. If you do have additional questions, please, if you need to, I'll be in the Meet tomorrow, but as of right now, September 10th, I'm going to say no, but keep in mind that that could change. Yeah. So I'm going to sign off for whoever's in the chat. I think just Tristan was the one in the chat right now. I don't know if Lindsay stayed or not. Oh, Tristan. I don't know. I don't know why. Why are there only 2 people in live stream? There was like 8 last time. Because some people maybe. What happened last time? Oh, last week, right? Yeah, last week. You guys can leave. That's fine. I'm just talking to Tristan. Last week, I believe the Wednesday students, I told them to be there for the day 1 stream. I think that's why there's a lot more, because I wasn't going to do day 1 stuff this week. But anyway, we'll talk. If you're going to be in the Google Meet, I'll be there tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. Hi. They told